Hi, welcome to today's video diary for Finding My Way with Pi, Purpose, Intention, and Emotion. I am Pi. Today I want to talk about permission. And I want to talk about this in a couple of different ways. First, permission to self, and I'll elaborate in a minute. But second, also permission. I'm sure I'm going to awkwardly say this, but permission for any of you who watch this to share. So let me start with number one, permission to self. What I mean is permission for yourself to fully accept your story, your history, your experiences, every part of yourself as part of your wholeness, as part of your whole being. Even the parts that hurt and maybe even still resonate some hurt. Every part of your story is redeemable, particularly if you so choose it to be. Let me elaborate a little. I am working on this process right now. We call it integration. I'm working with my career coach to really get down into the why. Like who is Kara, and what is her story, and what are the roots from her story that seeded why Kara does what she does, why she cares about what she cares about, why it's important, why she's good at it. Talking about myself in the third person is kind of funny, but I just wanted to explain the concept. Part of this process is writing my life story. One of the realizations that I had, and I've really always known it, it's already always been in me, I just wouldn't surface it. But one of the realizations that I had was that the first half of my life felt like a completely different life. It felt like a completely different experience. When I moved away from home at 20 years old, I put the whole first half of my life in this compartment deep down inside of me, and I did not like to open it. I just tucked it away down in there and moved on as if I started life anew. Why would I do that? Well, I did that because there were enough things that I experienced that felt like trauma to me, that hurt, that I didn't want to live again. And I didn't want it to be part of the life that I built. And I also didn't know how to be completely or wholly okay with the traumas. I won't go into all of the details of them. I don't want to wallow in them. I don't want to trigger others. Let's just say it felt like wham, bam, bam type of a hits over and over. Lots happened, and it's all encapsulated in the first half of my life that I just kind of like hopped out of it and was like, whoa, I don't want to live in that, and I don't want to live that way, and I'm gonna go build my own life. Now, I'm saying all of this not out of regret, just acknowledgement that I ran from the first part of my life. Please understand that it doesn't mean it was all bad. Just that there were some things that were so intensely painful for me that I had to encapsulate all of it for me. It was a protective measure for myself. Now I understand that I had separated that part of who I was for so long, but it bubbled up, right? Like little things will bubble up because it's the root. It's the roots from which I grew and which now fuel what's important to me in my life. It's fueling good. So this is the second part I want to make about this, that these hurts are the fertile soil from which beautiful things grow. But those beautiful things cannot grow if I don't accept and integrate and acknowledge where some of these things came from, that they are part of me, and, not hide from them anymore or run from them. Unearthing them has been this process of, scary for me and a little terrifying and a little bit like, God, if I relive this, it brings up feelings of like shame is a word that's coming to mind. Guilt, hurt. Anybody who's gone through any type of trauma, there's some pretty negative feelings associated with it. And ultimately, kind of like, if people knew I went through some of these things, would they still accept me? Would they view me as lesser? Would it stop me from living the life I want to live, which is what I was afraid of when I was younger? This is what I'm learning. That so long as I maintain all of these things separate from me, that I cannot be whole, because they are wholly a part of who I am and where I came from and my experiences. They also helped me connect to basically like the work that I think I'm meant to do in this world. Because I understand, having lived through certain experiences in my life, that human beings are complex creatures. And we have broken pieces inside of us. And it's when we avoid our broken pieces through either drugs or alcohol or pretending to be something you're not, or burying yourself or denying yourself who you really are, and instead fitting over into a box over here because it's safe. I don't know. When we do that, that's when we cause the most damage to ourselves and sometimes to others. But when we can accept and fully integrate even the hard parts into who we are, we become whole, and then we get to do the work we are called to do in this world. For me, that work is acceptance and helping people connect to giving themselves permission to feel what they need to feel and to accept their broken parts and not be ashamed of them or try to hide them, and understand that it's part of who they are and that there are beautiful things that come from the hard parts. That work of emotional acceptance, emotional well-being, leading as a one of the foundations for whole person, whole being. That's my calling. That's part of my work. I don't know exactly what that looks like. I don't know exactly where it will unfold, but I'm more and more clear every day that looking back on my story and things that I've gone through and lived through, and then, became a successful human in spite of, now I need to integrate so that I can be who I am and do the work I'm meant to do. Permission to self. Okay. Point 2. Permission for any of you watching to share. I have had people reach out to me and share that the video diaries are raw and intensely personal, and that it's so helpful to see that, and yet feels like almost like there's a little bit of guilt for being witness to it. Like, whoa, that's so intensely personal. Should I be watching this? Should I be watching this? But I need to watch this. I can't stop watching this because, oh my God, I feel like that too. Or, oh my gosh, this is reminding me of such and such, or so and so, or this thing that happened in my life, and this is making me think. Me too. It's doing the same thing for me. This started as a personal experiment in, seeking personal growth and the art of living well. And I needed some way to keep myself accountable. I needed a way so that I could curiously observe what I was feeling and what information that was giving me so that I could inform myself, decide what's important to me, and decide how to move forward. I needed a mechanism to help me do that. I was at a big crossroads. Kind of still am. Kind of am still just right smack in the middle of this journey, if it ever ends, and not until the day we die, right? We're all just finding our way. I needed that for me. I also experienced with women that I mentor that they needed that for them. So whether they watch this or not, I don't know. But what women say to me, every single one of them, without fail, is I'm emotional. I think I'm doing something wrong. Or am I doing this right? Same question, posed different ways. And I'm not sure what to do. And the process has always been, what are you feeling? Where do you think that's coming from? What's underneath that? What is it you want? What is it you most want? What are some things we can do, or you can do, to help you move in that direction? Let's start with learning first to get in the right mindset about being curious and experimenting to discover for yourself what's right for you. And there is not an example, a real life, unscripted daily example of anyone doing that in this world. So I did it. So yes, this is intensely personal to me. And you know what I know? What is most personal is most universal. And there is no book out there that is going to tell you 100% what's right for you. That's all within you. I'm not discounting like self-help or self-development or any of that. Lord knows I've done my share of it and still continue to do so. I think that's important. The point is, it's just a methodology to help you discover you. That's where your answers are. They're in you. Which connects back to my first point, permission to myself to connect to the answers in me. And some of those are rooted in hard things. And as long as I run from those hard things and not face the emotions that come with the hard things, I cannot fully integrate. So I'm giving myself permission to do that. And I'm giving you permission to share. If you want to join, with friends, share this with them and join with them along the journey, that's okay. I know these are intensely personal. I put them on YouTube. They are public. That is permission for you to share. If it so moves you, it's okay to do that. If you don't, that's okay too. I just don't want you to feel like you're watching someone's dirty secret. It's not a dirty secret. It's just an example of what it might look like day to day. The good, the bad, the ugly, the journey. The journey for me, from burnout to passion. This is what mine looks like. It ain't pretty all the time, but it is real. So thanks for being with me on this journey. I am so glad that you're here. I hope it helps you too. I'll see you tomorrow.